everyone, welcome to my channel. Are you a parent who reads a book straight through each time you read to your child? If you are someone like that, then I'm doing this video just for you, because I want you to know that how you read to your child is as important as how often you read to him. So in this video, I'm going to teach you one of the most powerful reading methods that you can use to get the most out of your reading sessions. So let's begin. Unlike the traditional method of reading, where the parent simply reads a book to a child, in the dialogic method of reading, you encourage your child to actively participate instead of just sitting there being a passive listener. So you either ask questions or have a conversation about what is being read, and you do something called a peer sequence, which is P-E-E-R sequence.
So P is for prompt, E for evaluate, E for expand, and R for repeat.
So here is a book that I read with my son recently using the dialogic method of reading. So let me just read the book through first and then go over the peer sequence. Okay.
Okay, where do doctors work? A doctor works in an office. The office might be in a big building. Where is the big building? Here it is. And what color is the building?
White.
White. It is a big white building. Do you want to say big white building?
Yes.
Can you say?
Big white building.
Good. Some doctors work at hospitals. Their offices are inside the hospital.
What is this?
Do you want to tell me what it is?
That's an ambulance.
Ambulance, that is right.
How many ambulances?
Do you want to count?
1, 2, 3.
Good. And what is this, by the way? Zane, what is this? So for prompt, I asked him where the building was and he pointed it on the picture. I then asked him the color of the building. So similarly, you can ask your child to point to a specific thing on the illustration, like how I did. You can ask, can you point to the building, or can you point to something that starts with the burr sound? Or you can ask simple who, what, where, why, when, how type of questions. Like, for example, you can ask something like, what does a doctor use to check your heartbeat? Or you can ask him to simply fill in the blank, like point to the picture and say, it is a big, and pause and wait for your child to say building. By the way, pausing like this while reading is such a powerful technique, because not only will this help build your child's language skills greatly, but then it'll challenge his memory and eventually motivate him to read on his own. And by the way, if your child is very verbal, you can ask open-ended questions, like you can have him talk more about the illustration. Like, for example, you can ask, can you tell me what is happening in this picture? Or you can ask something like, when do you go see a doctor? A fun way to do this is to have your child relate the picture or the word in the book with an outside experience. Like, you can ask, do you remember we saw an ambulance while driving back from the grocery store last night? Do you remember the sound that it made? Do you want to do the sound for mommy? So you can have your prompts any way you want. You can ask any type of questions. There are no hard and fast rules around it. But just remember to have your prompts age appropriate, because there is no point in asking a 2-year-old about the story plot or have him talk more about the picture. The second step, which is to evaluate. If you remember, when my son pointed to the building, I said, yes, here it is. So if your child gets the answer right, praise and encourage him by saying, that's right, great, good job. If he doesn't, instead of saying, no, you're wrong, you can still correct him without saying he has made a mistake. For example, if my son would have pointed to the picture of an ambulance in the book and called it a van, I would have said something like, that does look a lot like a van, but it is actually an ambulance. And I would have pointed out to the red cross on the ambulance to tell him the difference between a van and an ambulance, so the next time he gets it right. And for the third step, if you can remember, when my son pointed to the building and said white, I said, yes, it is a big white building. So once your child gives you an answer, rephrase what your child says and add a bit more information. You can say something like, yes, it is a white ambulance with 4 wheels. Do you want to count the wheels for mommy? And in the final step, which is repeat, I made him repeat after me. I made him say a big white building. So repeat the original prompt in a way that it incorporates the expansion and have your child repeat after you. And the reason why this step is so important in dialogic reading is because the more you have him repeat, the more he would be able to understand how sentence structure works. And in no time, he would be able to construct even complex sentences perfectly with ease.
I really cannot overemphasize the benefits of reading to your child every day, but then if you read using this method, not only would you be able to double but triple the benefits, because it's scientifically proven that reading using the dialogic method of reading can substantially improve your child's language skills and comprehension skills and greatly stimulate his imagination and critical thinking. But most importantly, it would encourage your child to read on his own. You know, we read to our son using this method of reading since he was 6 months old, and we were surprised when he started to read before he turned 2. So having experienced the benefits of dialogic reading firsthand, I'm 100% confident that you and your child will be greatly benefited by using this method. By the way, dialogic reading is great, but make sure that you don't overdo it, because our main goal as parents is to associate reading with happiness, enjoyment, and fun. So if you ask questions for every sentence that you read, you'd end up annoying and frustrating your child. So make sure that you initiate the period sequence once every page or two. But sometimes just read the book straight through and keep the experience light and fun. I hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so we all can learn and grow together in our journey as parents. I'll see you all soon. Till next time, take care and happy parenting.